Everybody good? Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you all very much for being here. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. Before we begin the proceedings, what you've been listening to is one of Shea's greatest assets, the mighty Wurlitzer, played by Mr. Christopher Cook. How about a big hand for him? That is one of the few instruments, literally, in the world that is here, right here at Shea's. Brian Higgins, as you know, is a great student, a very serious student of history. So it would seem to me appropriate to begin these proceedings by quoting Benjamin Franklin, who said that if you want to keep a secret with 3 people, 2 of them have to be deceased. Our purpose this morning is less about the announcement of Brian's appointment as president and CEO of Shea's than it is about the process by which we got here. As many of you know, we are about to begin the celebration of 100 years in this building, our 100th anniversary. As president and CEO of Shea's, our search committee, which was led by Dr. Tony Vasquez. How about a big hand for Tony, who is right there. Dr. Vasquez led the search with our board members, many of whom served on the search committee. We constituted that search committee with other individuals from the community who gave us, we think, a great perspective on what the next was committed to one thing, and that was the selection, the hiring, the recruitment, and ultimately the opportunity to bring someone that could do create a diversity and inclusion and an environment where our staff could prosper and be productive. And in Western New York. We think we accomplished that. For a search firm, we had 6 responses. We selected one, the Arch Consulting Group based in Boston and Chicago. They came back and had over 100 applicants from across literally the country, and in some cases internationally, for people that were interested in coming here. That group was winnowed down to 10 finalists. The search committee interviewed 10 finalists and ultimately selected 3 for live interviews. Search committee and then the board talked to those 3 people. And I'm happy to tell you that the selection was, at the end of the day, unanimous. And so, with great pleasure and my honor to introduce to you the next president of the Shea's Performing Arts Center. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. The only thing I'm certain of is
bartender, his father was a bartender, and his grandfather was a bartender. So Lou, it's great to have you. Sean here? Sean Cole? Sean Cole, another South Buffalo guy with many credits. He's here to the production of Sean. How are you? He was in Michael Creighton alongside George Clooney. He played George Clooney's brother. Sean would have preferred to have George Clooney play his brother. But great to have Sean. He's at Road Less Traveled down the street. And great to have you, Sean, and thank you very much for being here. So I was trying to make a connection between politics and the theater. Not easy to do. And I stumbled across a guy who I've admired for a long time. His name is Oscar Eustis. Oscar is the artistic director at the Public Theater in Lower Manhattan on Astor Street. And he lectures on the connection between theater and democracy. And he argues that the theater is important because democracy is important. And the theater is the art form through which our democracy was established. They were established at the same place, Athens, Greece, at the same time, at the end of the 6th century. So my connection is that I went back to my evolutionary roots, but I didn't think I'd have to travel 2,500 years to get there. So it's an important expression of who we are as a society and as a people. I'm also Irish, and the Irish have a great literary tradition. In fact, it was the great writers and playwrights that established the Irish literary movement that provided the inspiration for the nationalist movement in the early 20th century. The Easter Rising, it wasn't soldiers that fought that battle, it was poets. They had beautiful hearts, but they got slaughtered. But they still had a deep sense of what it is to be a visionary in a country that seeks to remove an invasive influence. Also the founder of this beautiful facility, Michael Shea. Michael Shea was born of Irish immigrants in St. Catharines, moved to the old First Ward of Buffalo, ran a saloon on Elk Street, lived on Catherine Street. He was also an iron worker. And he had this vision about what a major theater house, or several of them, could mean to a community like this. This was the final one. This was his opus. This was the Wonder Theater. And as you can see, it's beautifully ornate. The other connections to the theater, my dad was on the city council in the 1970s where this was scheduled for the potential of demolition. And the council voted to issue a request for proposals, but then they voted in the end to give this over to the Shays O'Connell Preservation League, or the Friends of the Shays, which would lead the restoration. In 1978, Bruce Springsteen opens Darkness on the Edge of Town tour here at the Shays. I had the West Box with 15 of my closest friends. Kurt Mengel, who ran the theater at the time, came up. He was very, very concerned because we were a little bit exuberant, and I think he was afraid that the West Box was going to fall off of the wall. So this is a great opportunity. This is a great time to be in Buffalo. You know, I used to teach history and economics, and I wrote a course based on Mark Goldman's book called The Rise and Decline of Buffalo and Western New York. It was the economic history of Buffalo and Western New York. And we would chronicle the rise and decline of Buffalo's economy dating back to the 1901 Pan American Exposition. And at that time, Buffalo was the 8th largest economy in all of America. But even more importantly, all the great artists, the architects. You know, architecture, as the biographer David McCullough teaches us, is the most unique art form because we live in it and amongst us. It defines us as a civilization, it defines us as a community. Louis Sullivan, Henry Hobson Richardson, Frank Lloyd Wright, Daniel Burnham, Richard Upjohn, Louise Bethune, the first female architect in the United States. None of them were from Buffalo, they came to Buffalo. Because we were a city that said to these creative people, you can get your vision turned into something real. And they came and redefined this city. We are an arts and cultural community that has greater potential than we've realized thus far. My goal here is to help make the theater district a more inviting place. This lobby, this theater is magical. Those of you who have committed yourselves to it, day and night, people walk through here on a temporary basis. You are here every single day. The in-house restoration committee, the attention to detail, the beautiful ornate theater that this is, we owe a great debt of gratitude to all of you and the extraordinary work that you've done. So to the staff of the Sheas, please join me in recognizing them. So let me just say this. The theater is about opening and closings. It's about the tragic and the magic. It's about the destination, but it's about the journey. And whenever theater dives deep into the darkness of human nature, the thing the theater never destroys is hope and the promise and the power of redemption. This is a story right in the midst of all of us about those things that we all value. So today's a day to give thanks for many things. I thank you for the opportunity that you give me and gave me to represent this extraordinary community in the United States Congress. We thank the people of Shea's, the staff, the volunteers for the good work that they have done and continue to do, only for this iconic cultural institution and the people that pass through it that they love. And finally, we give thanks to a good and generous nation. A good and generous nation that makes this day and all of our days possible. Thank you for being here.
Shea's has had the great good fortune of having some great partners, and I need to recognize and acknowledge the fact that the past 18 months has been an interesting one around here. And about a week ago, we announced that, but for the Hamilton year, we had set a record of Broadway subscriptions of over 16,500. And that, in my view, and I know I share the board's view, was due to the ongoing absolute commitment made by our senior staff and the people that work here, or staff that work here at Shea's every day. So if you would please join me in thanking them for just spectacular job. I said earlier, and I've been saying publicly for a while now, and not really part of our goal is to stay out of Albert Nocciolino's way. Our season this year has been spectacular, will continue to be so. If what Albert tells me about the 24-25 season comes true, it will be even better, if that's possible. But we in Western New York, and Shea specifically, have the tremendous honor to have Albert as our partner, as our director for our Broadway subscription, and he's here with us today. So if you would, Albert, please. Albert Nocciolino.
Thank you, John. I'm thrilled to be a part of this announcement and celebration. It's a pretty significant event, and I'm also thrilled that I was allowed to participate in the process to help select our new president, Congressman Higgins, or as you so graciously said to me today, you can call me Brian. Brian, I want you to know, in the words of Paul Simon, you can call me Al. On behalf of myself and the entire Shea staff, we welcome you. We welcome you as president of this extraordinary institution. As Mayor Brown says so often and so beautifully in a documentary that was made by the American Theater Wing, Shea's is the anchor of the theater district. And it is. But it is more than that. It's the heartbeat of our urban core. It's the anchor not only of the urban core, but of the theater district, a theater district that is second to none. We have more theater companies in this community than any other city in upstate New York and in the Northeast. And we are part of that, and we're proud of it. But more importantly, we're proud of the legacy that's been built here. As you mentioned, the work of Tony Conti and Patrick Fagan before him, so that every single show on the road can come here. Now, they come here automatically. They want to be part of what we've built here. Brian made reference to our subscription, so did John. We're blessed with the success we've had here. It doesn't happen by accident. Western New York, the people of Buffalo, have embraced what we do, and they've put their arms around Shea's. This is a magical place for sure, Brian. They have supported it, and they will continue to support it. But our job, your job, Brian, is to preserve it for the next generation, to continue the legacy. All the hard work that's been done will need to go forward. More renovations, more restorations, the continuation of proper programming, and the building of audiences. We need to do that together, and we know, Brian, with what you have done already in our community, recognizing the assets that we have, with your vision and your support and your leadership over all these years, if you bring that to us and you help us continue on the foundation that everyone here in this room has worked so hard for, we are going to go a long way, and for generations to come, they will walk into this theater and continue to look up and say, boy, are we lucky to have Shea's. Welcome and congratulations.
As I said, we have the benefit of having great partners. Singularly, the City of Buffalo was and continues to be not only our landlord, but someone that we can go to when we need help in just about every facet of this operation. And so I'm just thrilled that the mayor could be here with us this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, the mayor of the City of Buffalo, Byron Brown. Mayor.
Thank you very much, John, and good morning, everyone. The selection of Congressman Brian Higgins as the president and CEO of Shea's Performing Arts Center is a great decision. As John said, the City of Buffalo proudly owns this great theater, and this is the crown jewel of the city's theater district. In fact, from my perspective as mayor of the City of Buffalo, I think the selection of Brian Higgins is an inspired decision. I want to congratulate John Dandies, the president of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Tony Vasquez, who led the search, and all of the members of the Board of Trustees, and Mr. Albert Nocciolino, for your work on this search process. As we heard, not only was it a national search, it was an international search, drawing candidates from all across the world that were interested in leading this great facility. So we thank you for that, and we congratulate you. I can say Congressman Brian Higgins has long been one of the most effective legislative and elected leaders in our community, in the entire Western New York community. And I have been proud to partner with him, to collaborate with him on many issues and initiatives for this community. And one of the great strengths and assets that he brings is his collaboration, his ability to work with others, to engage others around the vision that he has. I can tell you that he has a deep love and passion for the arts. If you look at the body of his work, and the depth and breadth of his work is extraordinary, is exceptional, But all through his service in elective office, he has shown his passion and love for the arts. He understands that the arts equals economic development, that the arts is a building block of a strong community. So as mayor of the city of Buffalo, I am very pleased with this decision. I am very thankful for the great deliberation of the Board of Trustees. And Brian, I know that you will keep this jewel in our community polished, and you will make the illumination of this jewel brighter than it's ever been. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor. I said earlier that how happy I was that this selection was finally being made public. I need to recognize two of my colleagues with whom I think we have spent some portion of every day either on the phone or meeting as we were moving through this process. She just had to leave, but Laverne Mosey Murphy and Jim Egan have joined me as our executive committee over the past 18 months. So, Jim, thank you for everything that you've done. I want to acknowledge as well Bonnie Kane Lockwood, representing Governor Hochul, who's here today. And one of our great friends in the state, in the New York State Senate, at least for a little while, and that is a great partner and a great supporter and a great friend, Senator Tim Kennedy. Senator, please.
Thank you very much to John Dandies for your leadership of Shea's for so many years. What an honor it is for me to be here with you. Those of you that know me know that I'm rarely of few words. So today I will do my best to keep it short, but if you could please indulge me as I speak about this incredible leader that Shea's has the amazing honor of now calling the president of Shea's Performing Arts Center. We all know Congressman Brian Higgins, and I welcome his family here. You know, wherever the congressman has gone, his family's been right there by his side. And all the friends that are here in his room, who he considers family. I know this because I see myself as such. It's the family and the friends of Congressman Brian Higgins that have really driven him to the successful leader that he has been for decades in our community. We know that his work over the last 19 years in Congress has been second to none. We know that his work leading our community has led to a better city, a better region, a better state, and a better nation. And that is going to continue, no doubt, in his role here at Shea's, being a voice for the community. But you know, the thing that I love about the congressman is that he'll tell you he's just a kid from the neighborhood. He's someone who never forgot his roots, never forgot where he came from, and that is recognized today by the people that are in this room, people that have been lifelong friends of his and his family, again, that are here. He's always stayed humble, no matter what level of government he was at. The highest levels of government here in this great nation, moving around the international community, meeting with world leaders, he was always just that kid from the neighborhood, somebody that recognized that who he wasn't the title that he had, but rather the people that he served and the place he called home and what he delivered for our great community here. A true man of the people. You know, his fight for working men and women is also unparalleled, recognized today by the presence of Peter D. Jesus, the president of the Western New York AFL-CIO, and Tom Tucker, the head of the Teamsters Theatrical Union that are here. Thank you for both being here, and all of the leaders that are here, and recognized by the congressman himself in his incoming role by paying tribute and saluting the staff that run this place each and every day and make it as great as it is. You know, his vision for our community, focused on working people, stems from where he comes from as, again, his family, his father, his uncles, his extended family, their role in organized labor in our community, the son of a bricklayer. He'll tell you the story. He came up laying bricks with his brothers and his family, with his father and his uncles, and then one day he had a conversation with his father and said, "Dad, I'm going to go in a different direction." And, you know, he saw some relief on his father. He thought his father was going to be upset, and he said, "Dad, you know, I thought you weren't going to be happy with me." He said, "Son, you were a terrible bricklayer." But, you know, it was those lessons in life that were taught to him as a young man that he carried on into his work in public service. You know, always fighting for our community. You know, when we think about the waterfront revitalization and the momentum that that carried into the revitalization of our entire economy in our region, back in 2005, as a freshman member of the United States Congress, in a room with people that the tables were set against him, with a junior senator, Hillary Rodham Clinton, who gave the freshman congressman his voice to tell our story, to fight, to deliver for Buffalo and Western New York in a $279 million agreement that he walked out of that room with that day. That's because he has guts, that's because he has vision, and that's because he wasn't afraid to go into that room with the tables and the deck stacked against him and do what was right. And that's what he's going to continue to do here at Shea's. And, you know, I had the honor of working as an intern in his office, an unpaid intern. I should have taken his advice and gotten paid back in the day, but I was in college. I didn't know any better. I said, I'm going to show how really focused I am on this work. But looking at a rendering, his vision of our waterfront in Gallagher Beach, that first $500,000 he got to Gallagher Beach was the first investment in waterfront in decades. And then when he became a congressman, that work was expanded. You know, whether he was in the council, whether he was in the assembly, whether he was in Congress, he has a storied career of leading. Brian Higgins will go down as one of the greatest Buffalonians in history. I'm proud to call him my friend. We're all proud to call him our friend. And a leader now in a different role. And as the curtain goes down on his role in the United States Congress and his storied career as a true public servant, the curtain goes up here at Shea's. And we know the theater district will never be as great as it will be under his leadership as the president of Shea's. Congratulations, Brian. We're looking forward to the next chapter in your life. We're so proud of you.
Thank you, Senator. We met earlier this morning with the staff of Shea's, and the first and the predominant question was, well, what do we call him? And I said, well, you know, congressmen are congressmen for life. So technically, he's still and will always be a congressman. And when Brian was asked the question, he said, "Please call me Brian," which I think tells you, speaks volumes. And in so doing, Brian, if you would just join me for one more moment up here at the podium, please. You'll excuse the baseball analogy, but I can't get too far away from it. And so, in true baseball form, this is the official passing of the mantle. We don't have jerseys here at Shea's, but we do have fleeces.
Very nice.
So this is Brian's first official bit of swag. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Higgins, congratulations. We are adjourned, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks,
you doing? John Blows, class of '68 at a time.